How's it going, everybody? It's favorite Cowboy back in another Cabbage video. How about enjoying today is my co-host the other hero.
Hello.
So I wasn't actually gonna plan a podcast this week, but this week's been kind of crazy. If you didn't know,
Yeah, like some minor stuff happened. Nothing too crazy. It's just Sony State of Play and a
yes,
Nintendo Direct.
and also D23, all that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yay! I'm so excited to talk about that. But
It was man. It was
yeah,
a good. It was a bad weekend at the start though.
that
Like, I'm
yeah.
not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Uh
Thursday. It's panned out between like Thursday and Saturday, I believe.
yeah, like Thursday, dude. I was excited. I saw there was someone had like a I don't know if it's legit, but it straight up whipped the internet into a frenzy because they're like, "Oh, we saw footage of gameplay for Spider-Man 2 and it couldn't tell what was a cutscene or what was gameplay." And that got everyone hyped like, "Oh, we're going to see gameplay at
Yeah.
D23, like the game showcase."
So
Man,
I think before we get started, I need to make an announcement that I actually decided to watch Morbius the other night because
oh, you poor soul.
because despite all the memes, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I need to watch the movie for myself, see how it is. And oh my god, it's so amazing. It's such a cinematic masterpiece. Everything about it
I
is so like thematically and visually rich that I couldn't bring myself to actually finish it. It's couldn't I
too
did
much. It was too big
exactly.
brain.
I didn't want more.
Like
I didn't want Morbius to come to an end. So I was like, you know what? I'll stop right here at the 50-minute mark. You know when the movie actually started.
is that like for real? Does that when the movie actually pick up?
Like okay, like legitimately, that's pretty much when the movie actually starts because everything before that is like it starts with I don't know if you've seen the movie, but it starts with Morbius like seeing the bats, and then it cuts to
Mm-hmm.
like an origin of like his childhood with his friend, and then it cuts back to like how how he gets the powers, how like drinks the blood and shit, and, and then
Jesus.
and then about 40 minutes later, he actually goes to prison, and then he escapes.
All right,
It goes on
sure.
for so long. I couldn't finish it after that. Like that's the point where like okay, Morbius is escaping, Milo gets the same powers, and they start to fight. 50 minutes in this like hour 40-minute movie, the movie actually starts. And I was like, at that point, I was like, I'm
My
done.
God,
So
Lord, like
that was definitely an
I'm so glad.
experience.
I'm so glad I just didn't watch it.
You know what? That's
I
fair.
was like every time I hear like, cause I saw the trailer and then I was like, okay,
Yeah.
and I never saw it again. I had no interest. Like everyone was going crazy of like, oh Morbius, we gotta go see it because the meme or whatever. And I was just like, I don't want to waste my money. Like
Right.
I'm not even interested in watching it on Netflix. Like if I'm gonna go on Netflix,
No, no,
I'll
no,
just watch
no,
Spectacular Spider-Man.
no, no. Didn't you see? Morbius is like the number one movie on Netflix right now.
Yeah, that is purely because of the meme. Like there's
Yeah,
no way people actually like the movie like that. I'm sorry.
yeah. But other than that, I think we should actually start talking about our topics today because D23 was so massive. But okay, it was massive in like the second half when everything actually started getting revealed. Thursday,
Yeah,
Thursday was definitely an event. Things definitely happened.
that's true.
I'm not gonna. I
I,
don't
I mean,
exactly remember a whole lot that happened. I know like a lot of the PlayStation stuff happened on Thursday.
all right. So pretty much all that happened of note in that D23 games showcase was there was a Tron. They started it off with we're gonna have a Tron game, which
Oh yeah,
hell
we are
yes.
having a
But
Tron game. That's right.
apparently the actual game is not like it's not like a game. It's like a reading thing or whatever, which is weird. Which is all right. I'm a little
Tron
confused about
story
it, but
mode. Telltale Tron
yeah,
story mode.
maybe. So I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna wait and see footage.
Yeah.
And then they showed off a little bit of the Avatar game, like the Blue Cat's Avatar, not Avatar: The Last Airbender. And then there was a Mickey Mouse game that actually looked like it's like a 4-person 2D platformer.
I actually don't remember
Mickey
seeing
Mouse
anything
game.
about that.
I mean, it looked neat. And it's like 4 players, Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Goofy. And then the only other thing of note that happened was so this is like the weirdest thing. Disney was really taking business and marketing cues on games from Nintendo here with this, because they drop a game trailer for this new Captain America and Black
Oh
Panther
yeah,
game
it was
that's
like
set
set in the
in World
World
War II.
War. Yeah,
Yeah, like that.
that looks
Hell
kind of
yeah, I'm
crazy.
excited for it. Because like that's done. That's being helmed by Amy Hennig, who was the game director for the Uncharted games. So like she's a big name, and her involvement means cool. This could be really good. And then they instead of ending on that, because that was a pretty high note. They decided to end on a trailer
Yeah,
for this fucking Niantic Pokemon Go Marvel Superheroes Go ripoff, and I'm just like, why would you end like that?
yeah, that it
Not a single person cares about that.
Yeah, I think game companies are trying to research into Pokemon Go style games, but that's when we talk about the Nintendo Direct. But there was also like a little showcase at the end where it showed like I wouldn't call it a showcase, but it was like very small clips of games coming out,
Oh,
which like pissed a lot of
uh,
people off.
oh, it pissed me off too because I was there. Like they do a
Yeah.
sizzle reel at the end, and that sizzle reel includes 2 of the games that people were actually excited for. Like the 2 games that would have, if they showed off just anything about them, would have made people happy with the entire game's showcase. And they showed off no new footage for Spider-Man 2 on PS5 and Wolverine from Insomniac, and everyone was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Like,
Like, yeah, they really did say, all right, Spider-Man 2, it exists, it's happening. Bye.
yeah,
Like, they're both definitely games. There was also, I also got annoyed at that they showed like 2 seconds of like, not even 2 seconds, like a second of Jedi Survivor, and you can't really
dude,
tell
I'm
what's
mad
going
about that
on.
one. Actually, I'm like, that's probably what I'm more upset about because I love Fallen Order so much. Like that game is amazing,
Oh
and
my
so
god.
I'm really looking forward to Survivor because I love having a Star Wars game with like lightsaber combat that's good. And so getting nothing from Jedi Survivor, we did like a whole I streamed it and we did a prediction kind of thing on stream. We're like, all right, what are they gonna show? And we're like, okay, Jedi Survivor, that's more reasonable of a showcase to
Yeah.
like because they've been working on that for a while. I was a little iffy on like the Spider-Man stuff because the game rights for Spider-Man are different than the game rights for or than the movie rights for Spider-Man. So like there's a gray area because it's an exclusive for the console. So it's just I was like, all right, maybe we'll get something for that.
Yeah, I
And
don't,
then just nothing. I
yeah,
was
I
so
don't
mad.
exactly remember when Spider-Man 2 was first teased, but I do know that Jedi Survivor was like late last year when it was
It
announced.
was revealed late last year, but it was expected for 23.
Yeah, that's like the main
Um,
reason why I thought that there should have been gameplay, at least some gameplay for Survivor, because it was like such a short time span.
Yeah, like it's just weird.
I know I kind of figured that Wolverine wasn't gonna get anything because I know that was the game that was supposed to be not coming out for a long time. I think like if I remember correctly, expected release dates were like 2024, 25.
I think so. Yeah.
But
Yeah, I
yeah,
think 24.
that first day of D23 was definitely something. Things happened and went. They acknowledged things existed and just said, "All right, goodbye. We'll see you Saturday."
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, they kind of
I
like
like
jam packed everything into Saturday, didn't they?
little bit, which like I don't blame them. Also, the best thing about this whole thing is that they finally realized Daredevil's popularity.
Yeah.
Like,
Like it's about time Daredevil actually got some popularity, but that was for actually Saturday when all the Marvel and Lucasfilm panels started, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
It's it.
it would have been better if they like split up Lucasfilm into the Thursday and then Marvel into Saturday. I don't know why they just kind of like
Yeah, a
put
little
all of them
bit.
together at once.
Cause like I was the only things I was interested in too, like from that day was pretty much for on the Star Wars side, I was really just like I want to see more animated stuff because I really like the Clone Wars animation, which we did get some Tales of the Jedi trailer,
Oh my
which
god,
I'm excited for that.
yes.
Like that looks so pretty.
Okay, like
Um,
I need to make a statement about this. So, Tales of Jedi and Mandalorian season 3 have both been trailers that were released a while ago. Because if you don't remember from Star Wars Day, which I followed up so much on, there were a lot of trailers and things that were publicly released. That's how Jedi Survivor got like an actual official footage for it. But for Mandalorian season 3 and Tales of the Jedi, those were only shown for people that were like physically there. So I was thinking
yeah.
that oh, give it like a week's time and we can expect these trailers in like by then. 4 months later, like they finally showed it after 4 months, and I was just like waiting for so long because they've shown so much footage for Andor and even Bad Bad season 2, which is now delayed until like January, which I'm mad about. But now like
Yeah.
everything's like
Wow.
now we finally get trailers for Tales of Jedi and Mandalorian season 3, which I both love. I love both those trailers. They look so amazing.
I'm more excited for Tales of the Jedi just because that animation is incredible.
The
Um,
animation improved heavily since like the start of
from
Clone Wars,
season
but
one,
yeah, but it
like
looks so distinct. Like you can easily tell that it's the same like series, but the animation is so improved. Just like all the little details.
it's like like I think even though the show like got really pretty around season two and they finally like solidified their style, they like kicked it up even more. Like they they kicked it up to an even bigger notch, which is insane
Yeah,
for an animated show. Because normally you don't see that really in animated shows. They just kind of keep the style and production, and just like, okay, we're keeping going. This looks good, but they like continuously improved.
yeah, that's kind of like the thing to really note about Clone Wars as a whole is that it did something that a lot of TV shows don't really do is that it kept on improving both visually and writing wise. Like the seasons only got better from season 1.
Yeah, which like that is I I think there's some stink. I think the one thing with Clone Wars is that there's like stinkers in every season.
Yeah,
That there's at
obviously,
least
but
a couple
it
episodes or
it's
an arc
very
where it's like,
like
ooh,
it's very easy to miss though. Like there's only like a couple episodes.
yeah,
I remember I think it was season 4 or 5 where the droid arc especially was easily one of the worst things to come out of Clone Wars, but even then it wasn't like completely terrible.
Yeah, like I think the one sad thing is like one of my favorite episodes that has one of my favorite characters is also a Jar Jar episode. So I'm
I
literally
know what you're
sitting there
talking
like
about.
I'm literally sitting there just like skipping all the Jar Jar scenes
I
because I want to see the episodes. I'm like, this episode's amazing, except for the
so
Jar Jar parts.
I'm assuming what you're talking about is either where Jar Jar pretends to be a Jedi, or that very wacky episode where Jar Jar and Mace Windu infiltrate Dathomir and fight the Night Sisters.
No, so you were wrong on both ones. It's
Really?
the episode about Ryloth where there's a Jedi, literally a one-off episode and a one-off Jedi where basically they're on Ryloth, they're fighting for as long as they can, but they're running low on food, and Jar Jar and Bail Organa are trying to convince some other some thing is the Toydarians to allow them to use their planet as like a shipping lane, basically, to get to Ryloth, so they can bring relief and aid to them, while the Jedi like tries to hold off and protect the Twi'leks as long as he can. And it's my favorite episode because of that Jedi and just how awesome and like just he is the Jedi. He is like, and even the clones in there too. There are one episodes, but I feel so much for those clones and Jedi in one episode because I'm like, this guy gets it. Ah,
And then
that
Jar
episode
Jar
is so
appeared.
good. It's a season 2 episode.
Season 2. I'm trying to remember because I know I like recently like finished season 2. I don't know. I gotta remember, but yeah, Jar Jar was weirdly not terrible, but also not good. Then again, I think like Jar Jar is just a fundamentally broken character.
I mean, you're not wrong. I
No, but like going back
it's
to the topic of like the actual new stuff, Tales of Jedi looks so good because it looks like most of it's going to be focused on like not only Ahsoka's training and growth, but also showing off Count Dooku's descended to the dark side and how he actually like got to the dark side, which is something I really want to see for since forever ago. Since I
oh
think
yeah.
I think it was the arc where where it was revealed that Count Dooku was taken by a hidden name. I don't exactly remember the name though.
Oh gee, I'm not gonna be able to remember.
No, it was
I'm
so
not.
long ago. But ever since then, I really want to see like how he actually felt the dark side, and it looks like we're gonna get a lot of that. And it gets to a point where it feels reasonable, but also like controversial when it comes to Jedi Council, because like you see how Count Dooku like has good intentions at the start. Like he actually wants to try and bring order to the galaxy, but I think that he just had a completely different interpretation of that as opposed to how the Jedi saw it.
Yeah, which like he was always more pragmatic, I think was how it was. Like he was a lot more involved in the politics too. Which I mean, that's a Jedi Council thing for the prequels era. That's like big problem anyway.
Yeah.
But what's cool about the short too is that Qui-Gon, Liam Neeson is supposed to voice Qui-Gon, and his son is supposed to voice young Qui-Gon, which is
Yeah,
cool.
I saw that like
So
so long ago during Star Wars Day that that was a thing that was supposed to happen, which I am 100% all for because that's really just the only excuse Qui-Gon could probably come to voice act.
I
Because
mean,
Liam Neeson
I'm
is
down.
very strict about how he feels about TV shows. He's okay with voice. He's like filming in movies, but
Well,
TV shows are a little different.
I mean, he says he's strict about it, and then he just shows up in Kenobi anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, to be fair, that's only lit for like a couple seconds. So like, I can
Like,
imagine it didn't take as much as like if he was here like the whole show. But that's just like kind of a problem with Liam Neeson. Like rules on TV shows. Like he doesn't like showing up there for long.
Yeah, which is a little like I guess a little weird, but also you kind of get more bang for your buck,
Yeah,
or
but
you
I
come
mean,
up
he's
like
even gone on the record saying that it's because he doesn't want to spend too much time away from his son, which I guess helps with Tales of the Jedi since they're both in the are gonna be voice acting.
well, and plus it's only 3 episodes or
Yeah,
each, so it's 6 episodes with two different stories. So we got Ahsoka and her stuff, which seems to be we're gonna get like some early Clone Wars training with Anakin, then her fight to get her white lightsabers, um her fight to get her white lightsabers to from one of the Inquisitors, which is gonna be cool actually.
yeah, that fight's gotta be so amazing. I also really like how she's actually there for Padme's death, which I didn't even think
Yeah.
about for a second. That never like transferred to my head after like finishing Clone Wars for so long. But seeing it, I was like, oh my god, that's such a great detail.
Yeah, a little bit. Like it's a cool thing. I'm just so excited for that, man.
Yeah.
It's nice to be excited for a Star Wars thing
It's
that's like not a
tell me
game.
about it, because Star Wars has had some pretty rough patches in the past couple of years.
Uh-huh.
Like I even like reacted to Andor, Tales of Jedi, and Mandalorian all at once. And seeing all three of those trailers, man, I got so excited for Star Wars. I honestly like didn't feel I haven't felt that way for Star Wars in a minute since like The Force Awakens or The Last Jedi. Because like I didn't care too much for Rise of Skywalker. But The Last Jedi was mainly for Luke. The Force Awakens like shook the entire fucking planet.
Honestly, yeah, like that. I miss I miss the Force Awakens time. To be honest, I want to time travel. I want to go back there,
Right. But I
back
think
when people were
it's
happy.
I think like keeping the franchise alive with a lot of TV shows and movies is fine. It just depended on how you actually handle those TV shows and movies. Like it feels a lot better laid out than the MCU, which is like a fucking production facility right now. But Star Wars feels like a little more spread out. It doesn't feel like there's gonna be like a new show every month or something.
Which is good, and I think I think I think Marvel should take some cues there,
Exactly.
because like I don't need a show every week or
Yeah,
every like
exactly.
they have a show like every month. I think there's only like on Disney Plus in between Marvel stuff. There's only like 2 weeks of downtime.
Yeah. But I think like going back to like Mandalorian season 3, I didn't expect to like that trailer as much as I did because I heard a lot of rumors about what was actually shown in the trailer for Star Wars Day and that Bo-Katan was gonna be a villain, which I didn't know how to feel about that because I immediately thought because of the darksaber, but it ended up being a little different than that, and it's because of acts like Jin like joining the Kree of the Mandalorian versus the actual race itself.
Oh yeah, like I like that's one of the things is there like in the lore, the Mandalorian like actual species is like extinct now.
Yeah, it's like non-existent.
And the original species, when they figured out that, oh, we're gonna go extinct, they were like, all right, like you can be a Mandalorian, you're a warrior, come with us.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, and like the little detail that I liked in the trailer was that Bo-Katan called like Jin's Kree a cult. That was such a cool fucking line, which honestly
I
did.
like that there's cults too in it. Like even in the Mandalorians, who are kind of a cult already, there's another cult inside.
It's a cult inside of a cult.
Which, to be fair, actually, I shouldn't call them a cult because I'm religious, and so technically I'm also in a cult. So like, there's a little pot calling the kettle black here.
Exactly. No, but I think it's very interesting that she uses that specific term because it does not only justify the antagonistic role that Bo-Katan's gonna play in the season, but it also kind of brings up the controversy between like what even is a Mandalorian. Is it the people or the actual race itself? Like the race versus the Kree. It's something that is I'd like to see touch up on in this season, and I think this is actually going to be a lot more personal to Jin himself rather than focusing on him and Grogu, because that seemed to be
I'm
the
gonna
main
say
focus.
I'm gonna say something a little controversial.
Now go ahead.
I don't think Grogu should have come back at all.
Yeah, that's that's but
Like
that's a failure from Book of Boba Fett. I don't think that's a problem with the Mandalorian.
I kind of a little bit because Filoni was also there.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Um,
That's fair enough.
so like it's it's a weird thing.
Yeah,
Like
it
I
I,
wanted them to stick to their guns because Grogu being back, I know Grogu being back is basically a marketing thing.
yeah,
And like, all
obviously.
right, this is the cute kid that we have to, here's the Twitter things of everyone is reacting. Oh, he's so cute. Like I would die
No,
for him. I'm like,
no,
that's
it's
cool.
fine. It looks like it's gonna be less focused on Grogu in season 3, though.
I hope so. Like I hope there's a bit more of a story going,
Yeah, okay.
like
Like
directly.
if we're keeping what the Book of Boba Fett did and kind of forgot about Book of Boba Fett entirely, if we're keeping those same like four episodes 4 and 5, where it was just Mandalorian season 3, um, I think what would have been really interesting is seeing Grogu like with Luke choosing between a Jedi and being with Jin, but that reveal didn't get shown. There wasn't a decision made until the start of Mandalorian season 3. I think that would have been like way more interesting.
I think so too. Like just having more things solidified in Mando season 3 just would have made it easier because like I I think it's a problem because they're forcing us to go watch another show to understand what's happening in season 3 because like if you didn't watch Book of Boba Fett, season 2 of Mandalorian ends with Grogu going away, and now season 3 is going to start with Grogu being back, and so people who didn't watch Boba Fett are just going to be sitting there like,
All
what?
right, look, there was a problem with the Mandalorian being like stealing the show for 2 episodes in the first place. That was already a problem in of itself.
Dude,
The the
I was
episodes were
actually
great, but
they do. I was excited for Book of Boba Fett at first because I was like, ooh, this is interesting. It looks like it's going to be a mafia thing. And the show came out, and I was like, ooh,
I'm not gonna lie,
no.
I don't remember like a single thing that happened in most of those episodes, other than like the finale.
Yeah, like, there was not a lot going on. I mean, the Tuscan stuff,
The
but
Tusker
that's
stuff
really
was
it. But it's
alright,
so
but I
annoying.
mean that lasted like 2 episodes, I think.
Yeah, it's the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, but I think the main problem with Boba Fett was that he didn't really have a whole lot of character going on, so I don't think there was enough to solidify an actual TV show dedicated to him. Cause
Well,
him
so the problem with that is he has plenty of characterization in other books and stuff to draw from. Like, even if you don't want to, can't make some of the EU canon, you can still, just, hey, here's the characterization we're going to pull from this book, and we'll give it credit, but we're going to do something new with it. And, like, that would have been fine. It's like taking inspiration from a comic book and changing the storyline and characters around a little bit to fit a movie.
right.
It doesn't really matter, and that original story is still there for you to go see, and it brings attention to both. So like, it's just weird that they didn't do that.
Yeah, it's I know they don't like I remember like they took a lot of stuff from the books in the sequel trilogy, I think. But I don't really remember anything if they reference a whole lot of the books.
Yeah, so Star Wars books aren't really my thing too. I just know that there's some stuff in there. Like, I get that people love the EU, but like, I don't want to go and read all that stuff to understand. Like,
Exactly.
I'm sorry. I like some of the EU stories. I'm like, oh, this is cool, and like I really liked that I read. Um, and then the rest of them, I'm just like, yeah, I can pass. Like, I don't need them.
Right. Yeah,
I'm
but
I'm
if
cool
we're
with what we
looking at
got.
just what the movies and Mandalorian tell us about Boba Fett, there's not a whole lot to go off of. So it was a little
No,
weird
yeah.
seeing that he got a TV show. I mean, at first I thought it was cool because Boba Fett's a cool ass character, but when you actually think about it, he doesn't have a whole lot of character himself, and I feel like you need longer than 6 episodes to show off just what exactly Boba Fett's character is.
Yeah, which is weird because you can easily like I think the weirdest thing is that they tried to make him a hero when I'm like, no, don't make him a hero. Make him a bad person. Like the audience can like bad people in a show. Like that's the entire reason why people love Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul is because they're bad people, but we want to see them succeed because the story does its job.
Look, if you really
So
want to
like,
focus on even more infamous bad people, Matt Murdock is a terrible fucking person at the start.
a
Like
little
he
bit,
in season 2, like he's a terrible fucking person, and people still loved him. I mean,
yeah.
Even Fisk as a character, he's a fucking villain. People still like him.
Oh, people love Green Goblin too. Like,
Exactly. Like you can have a bad person and make him likable. And I feel like that's what they should have done
and
with Boba
well, and
Fett
remember,
is.
this is the same people that also changed the name of the ship Slave One to
Oh
just
yeah,
be
to
Boba
Boba
Fett's
Fett's
spaceship.
starship.
So, like, that was the dumbest change ever because now when you look back at the other stuff, it's oh look, there's Django. He's flying Boba Fett's spaceship. I'm like, well, wait a minute.
It's like, wait a minute, hold on, something right here. Yeah, but I think that you can make a. I think what they should have done with Boba Fett is that make him a fucking terrible person, but have the Tusken Raiders actually change him a little bit, and then making the death actually mean something, and then that's when Boba Fett decides to actually become a better person. Like, granted, he went to Tatooine just to, I guess, try to make up for what the Tusken Raiders died for, but honestly, I don't think that Boba Fett should have really helped train the Tusken Raiders at all. I think that he should have been really distant from them until they slowly started to change his mind a little.
Yeah, it's a weird premise in general to just have because it's very Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
Like I think honestly, I think what Bobo should like what I would have preferred was if they died and Bobo was just kind of like good and then walked away and was like, yeah,
Yeah.
I think that would have been I think that would have been way better because they like at least be have him just be like good for the adult ones and then be like sad that the kid Tuscan died and like that's it
Yeah. Also,
because like
the also weird thing about Boba Fett is also Fennec, because she doesn't really have a character either.
a little bit yeah
Like
a little
I don't
bit
remember a single thing Fennec really says that means anything.
what oh, shit you're right.
Like honestly, if you really I remember watching a lot of the Book of Boba Fett when it came out, and I don't remember half of the stuff that happened in it, other than Cad Bane, which is obviously cool to see.
Oh god, I loved that.
But then again, it's like if you don't watch Clone Wars, you're not gonna understand why Cad Bane's there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, even if you did watch Clone Wars, the only interaction he had with Boba Fett was a deleted scene. So if you didn't even
Yep.
watch the deleted scene, you're not gonna understand a fucking thing that happens.
Like that's the biggest problem with Boba Fett is the fact that they try really hard to get this payoff for something that happened in a deleted scene
Exactly.
that most, like, 90% of the audience hadn't seen.
Yeah, it's such a weird thing. Like Boba Fett was just a misfire, but Kenobi was like okay. Andor looks really great.
Andor does. I honestly.
I think the thing to really take away from all the recent Star Wars stuff, with Andor, Tales of the Jedi, and especially Mandalorian season 3, is that it doesn't feel reactionary. It doesn't feel like any of them are trying to fight up against one another.
Yeah, because that's definitely what the movies feel like. At least Episode 9.
Yeah.
In response to Episode 8, like, I get it. You know, the reception to Episode 8 wasn't that great, but complete the story that was there.
Make a trilogy from your trilogy.
Yeah, make this trilogy actually feel coherent.
Yeah, I think since even in Episode 8, some ways, like they kind of like botched a lot of the stuff with Finn that really could have worked, but it was kind of like Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams were kind of fighting, playing tug of war for the franchise.
Yeah, it's mom and dad are fighting again. It's pretty much like that's what it is.
It's like the episode of SpongeBob where they're like waiting forever for their new toy to come in, and they finally got it, and one of them says like, "I broke it."
Yeah.
No, but I really do like how Star Wars is looking right now, because it doesn't feel like they're fucking fighting against one another. It feels like they actually give a shit about their main characters, because even Book of Boba Fett, you could tell that halfway through they're like, okay, it doesn't look like people are actually liking this. Let's go back to Mandalorian. People love that, right?
Which is really weird that they kind of had that in there despite they couldn't have known exactly. Like they couldn't have course corrected that fast.
No, obviously
So,
not,
like,
but I think
they really had no
they made the
confidence.
they made like the conscious choice just to not care about Boba Fett. In a
it's
show
just-
titled The Book of Boba Fett.
which is just weird because they had to have realized like halfway through that, oh, this isn't working how we want it, but rather than going back and like redrafting to make a stronger story, it seems like they're like, all right, let's just kind of put Mando in there and, you know, distract everybody.
Exactly. Like just fill your brains in with the good stuff into making you it's just tricking you into thinking that the whole show's good.
Yeah.
No, but I'm really excited for Andor, especially because that final trailer for Andor was really good.
Yeah, honestly,
like Cassian Andor looks like such a compelling protagonist, even though I didn't really care for him much in Rogue One, because like there wasn't a whole lot for him to go with other than I was in this fight since I was 6 years old.
Man, that's some good acting in him.
He has
Diego
really
Luna,
good. Yeah, Diego Luna is such a great actor, but I feel like they kind of like underused him in Rogue One, because
I agree.
Yeah, I was kind of all over the place with Rogue One, but it does look like they're actually trying with him here instead of just like throwing in a character that we already love, like Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, true. Although I will be honest, I'm kind of waiting. I'm like, all right, what character are they gonna throw at us? I'm waiting for Bail Organa to show up in Andor.
Bail Organa's just gonna take like a whole episode.
The problem though is like after Kenobi, I'm like, shouldn't he be, you know, suspect number one?
Exactly. Like I don't think Bail Organa should be like if Bail Organa ever showed up in Andor, I think it should be like as a very like small transmission where he's talking about how he's hiding from the Empire.
Yeah, because like you could say that you can get it that he was there or something. Like it's a really weird thing because Kenobi just kind of fumbled the ball on that. So now we're just scrambling.
Yeah, pretty much. Like they're trying to like muss up what they can.
Yeah.
But I think that's enough for the Star Wars stuff, because I think the only thing that they really showed after was like a clip from Skeleton Crew. Well, not the actual show, but like
we didn't see that, but like yeah.
But I think it's now time to go into Marvel stuff because there was a lot of Marvel stuff that happened as expected,
Oh yeah,
obviously. But I think the
yeah,
thing
there was
I think the thing I want to talk about the most is Werewolf by Night because it looks so fucking beautiful.
that. By the way, Michael Giacchino
Yeah,
directed.
I
Yeah.
saw that. That looks I'm really intrigued to see what he can do as a director because
So
he's
I've heard that it's like a comedy as well, which all right, I'm in it. I'm with it. Like this kind of subject matter for Werewolf by Night I think can work really well as comedy horror. I think it, and like the way it's shot too seems like a big like homage to to old horror, whereas like that campy kind of
yeah.
monster horror. So
No,
like I'm excited, and the black and white filter
the
is
black
cool.
and white filter looks so amazing. It really does it really does fit the horror style of it all.
So I'm looking forward to that. This wasn't something that was like announced there, but I just got to put it out there. We got to look at my boy Peter in freshman year
Yeah,
in
it
an
was like
ad.
for its faction, right?
Yeah, it was an ad for a ride in Marvel's in the Disneyland Avengers campus,
But
which
holy
like, all
shit,
right,
we still
fine.
gotta look at it, and it looks so fucking
He looks
amazing.
so good. He's
Ah,
wearing the glasses. The suit has like it has the right kind of red and blue where like I'm not a fan of when Spider-Man the parts of Spider-Man are super dark and like dark blue or black.
right.
That's not I don't like that suit for the red and blue. I like it when his red and blue is, brighter, when the red is deeper and the blue is brighter. And
Yeah,
so seeing that, I'm happy. And then like cuz it's straight up John Romita Sr. suit.
yeah, exactly.
Just
Now I need to see the mask. We've seen him without the mask. Now I need to see him with the mask.
well there is a shot of it. It's just we got another shot. Like the thing that made me so happy about this was we got to see him in a pose that wasn't like standing to show off, like he was in an action pose, and I'm like it looks good. Cuz that's the one thing about Spider-Man in animation is the web lines on the suit. Like the main reason why I think they didn't go with the Ditko design for the suit is mostly because of how compact the web pattern is on Steve Ditko's original suit. Because like they're taking inspiration from Ditko's art for like everything else, and they're taking a little bit of like extra. Hey, let's make this fit a bit better for animation. Let's take from some of the other artists as well, because the entire art style of freshman year feels like it's straight out of Ditko and Romita Senior art. Um, and so, like for the suit, it just makes so much more sense on an animation level to choose a suit that has a wider or has a less busy web pattern, because that's just a pain in the ass to animate. Like
Right.
Spectacular Spider-Man, its suit, the web pattern is very, very simple going through. And so that allows for them to do a lot more dynamic poses and have the animation move smoother, because then you don't have as many lines to worry about, and the simplistic nature of it just makes it work better.
Right. Yeah, but the suit
And I'm
looks
just
so amazing.
it
I
does.
want to see more
He's wearing the
Specimen
glasses.
year. Specimen year is supposed to come out like 2024, right?
24, yeah.
I'm
Which
actually kind of
sometime
surprised that we haven't seen a new footage, but we've seen footage of Secret Invasion.
I'm not, because animation takes a lot longer. Like I think this show already has had some changes from what it initially was advertised as. Like it was initially advertised as the origin of MCU Spider-Man. And I was like, okay, it's cool, he gets freshman year. It'll be a one and done season. And then they came out and were like, we have sophomore year too, and here's all of the villains. Here's Doc Ock and
Is Doc
Scorpion and
Ock,
all these other
Galacto,
villains.
Scorpion?
I don't think Electro is in the lineup, but like we got Chameleon, we got Rhino, got Unicorn,
Oh my!
like Scorcher.
I want to see Chameleon now after seeing
Dude,
Spectacular.
dude, Chameleon has the drip in this new art style in freshman year. Like I'll send you all of the images we have of freshman year so far, because they revealed it back at D23, or not D23, San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So, like, I'll send you that stuff, but it looks so good.
It's also very interesting to see, like, how, Norman Osborn, was it Norman Osborn? I don't remember.
It was, yeah.
Yeah,
My man
how
in the
he-
green suit
yeah,
with
how
the
he
drip
actually-
in the waves.
Yeah, I think it was Norman Osborn who actually takes place inside of Tony, which is interesting to see. Which
Like, the
it's
premise
weird.
is basically a what if of, like, what if Norman Osborn found Peter Parker instead of Tony? And I'm like, that's an interesting idea, to have Norman actually be a full-on mentor figure to Peter, because that's just something they do all the time in the comics and the shows, and they're like, I want to mentor you, Peter, because I like you way more than Harry, who's just a fucking disappointment. And so, like, having just a Norman Osborn straight out of the bat, that's like, I'm gonna mentor you, super cool. I have a theory about this.
Oh, really?
Already. I have a theory about the potential storyline for
Yeah,
season
you
one.
have, like, your theory on top of, like, the 30 other different theories on MCU you have.
Yes. So this theory that I have is basically that Norman, I think they're going to retcon, or not retcon, I think they're going to reveal that Peter got bit by a spider at Oscorp, and Norman was able to backtrace who he was, and so that's why he shows up there, and he's putting on the pretense of, hey, I'm your buddy. Let's, like, take a look at your powers, and let's make you better. But I think it's Norman is deceiving him into basically, hey, I'm gonna help you out. Here's all the tech and whatnot, and he is the guy that's creating the villains as well, to kind of test Peter and see what his limits are, what the capabilities of the spider is, and everything.
Yeah,
And
that'd
then,
actually be really cool to see, actually.
well, and so because this show is apparent, like, the showrunner has said that, like, he's a huge fan of Spectacular, and that they would be taking inspiration from that. I'm like, yes, good,
Yeah, yes.
absolutely.
We need
and
more
so,
Spectacular
like,
fans out there.
I also really like that they're taking a lot of other characters. Well, my preference is that we get Liz and Betty as love interests for the first time in, like, an actual Spider-Man thing. That, like, while yes, we had Liz as a love interest in Spectacular, a small part of me is like, could we just not have Gwen and Mary Jane show up in high school for one adaptation, please? Like, just don't have them there and use the high school characters for real, because they are using Untold. What I like is that they're using Untold Tales of Spider-Man as inspiration, and that's another comic series that, like, has that takes place during Peter's high school years. And there is one issue that I would be 100% like over the moon if they actually adapted it, where it's issue 17 of Untold Tales, where it is from the perspective of Mary Jane before she meets Peter, and after she has discovered that Peter's Spider-Man, because she, in the comics, she figures it out right away because she sees him. She was at her aunt's house the night that Uncle Ben died, and Peter went after him, so she saw Peter as Spider-Man. And so, like, that whole issue is a really cool, like, behind the lens look at MJ's life, and I'm like, I would love if we got an episode like that in freshman year. But, like, that's just wishful thinking from me, because, like, I don't think they would bring in Mary Jane for just one episode that's completely unrelated to Peter. But I can hope. I want to see one of my favorite characters get done justice, because the comics are not doing it right now. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, moving on from that. I think there was moving on from the thing that was actually not revealed at D23, but
sorry.
Now you're fine.
Soapbox.
Yes, you got the soapbox for too long, but I think what like you said about the attraction, I think what's also interesting to see is actually Daredevil actually getting more traction, because you saw Daredevil actually in the promo art.
I'm gonna call it right now. I think we're gonna get a yellow suit Daredevil on Avengers Campus soon.
Oh
Like,
no, I
actually, at least
100%
after this
see it
week.
happening.
After this week's episode.
Yeah, I see it happening, and I think Charlie Cox is so great, man. Like even seeing him on stage talking about Daredevil Born Again and talking about how like what it's going to be, and he sounds so faithful to the character. He cares so much about Matt Murdock that it's so wholesome to see.
It is, honestly. Like he is the guy that I'm like, he reads it. He reads them all.
Exactly.
I believe that he reads them all. Even though like he may not, but I believe it because of how much he loves it.
Yeah, I remember even seeing a quote about how Daredevil Born Again is going to be made, and I know he said that it's not going to be slapstick humor because that's not Daredevil style. I'm like, yes, pop off,
Yeah,
keep going.
yes, King.
God, Charlie Cox is
Honestly,
such a king.
he Daredevil deserves it too. It's the best Marvel product that's come out since Spectacular. So like,
Yeah, it's so great, man.
he deserves all of his love and more.
Right, and I think what else was revealed? There was Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion. I think some footage for some other trailers for Loki season 2, the Marvels, and then
It was Wakanda Forever, right? Or at least the cast came out
Wakanda
for it.
Forever and Ant-Man 3 was shown behind closed doors, so we didn't get to see those.
Yeah, but I think I'm actually pretty excited for Quantum Mania because I know that
I love Ant-Man.
I really love Ant-Man. Like this is a bit of a hot take. I actually don't mind Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh, that's not a hot take for me.
No.
I love that one too.
Yo, are we gonna get canceled right now for liking Ant-Man and the Wasp?
we haven't said we like Thor: The Dark World, so
no, that's true. I don't even like Thor: Dark World. I don't remember a thing that happened in Thor: The Dark World.
That's the biggest thing with the movie is that it's just very meh.
Yeah, but
Like you just don't remember it.
But like Quantum Mania looks so like it. Well, okay, I haven't seen like any actual footage from it, but
I saw one of the leaked trailers, and
I didn't see the trailer for it. But I think I've heard like a lot of the concepts for what Quantum Mania is going to be about, and I think it could be interesting. I remember seeing one of the like description about it is that Ant-Man's gonna produce a book about how he saved the Avengers, and that really gets him distant from his daughter. And at first I was like, okay, that's a bit too assholey for Ant-Man, but then again I'm like, oh wait, it's Paul Rudd.
Well, also I'm like, is that even because just from the description, I'm like, okay, so that could just mean a whole bunch of things. Like that could just mean it wasn't. It's not a purposeful thing. It's not like he's distancing himself purposefully.
Yeah.
It's just that like, okay, success is going to his head a little bit. I buy that.
Yeah,
like,
I'm also interested
I know a lot
to
of
see
people are like, I know a lot of people are just like, oh, it's terrible for this character. I'm like, well, no, that's pretty human. I could see that happening.
Yeah, I could see like Paul Rudd definitely having power go to his head.
Yeah, like, and I'm excited to see Kang.
Yeah, Kang. Again. Oh my god, I love Kang and Loki. I'm excited to see what he can do in Quantum Mania.
I did enjoy the more like quirky dude that sits at the end of time because I'm like, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense. He's by himself. He would be pretty quirky.
Yeah, he's going
but I am
nuts.
So happy. Like I'm so down to see a more like dude straight up. This is Kang the Conqueror. Like that is what I'm excited to see.
Yeah, there's also like leaked images of MODOK, and I don't know if it's like a helmet or what, but
MODOK's design makes me sad.
The design looks a little weird, but like here's the thing: I don't know if it's like a helmet or a face. I want to see big face MODOK, but at the same time, I could 100% believe Marvel is going to just have the helmet be the face.
I mean, yeah, like considering what they did to Taskmaster, that still makes me sad. like MODOK is one of those characters. There's a few characters like Zola. I think they handled Zola pretty well actually, within the context of the MCU, because like his original design, where he's another big walking computer face like MODOK, just he walks around instead of floating.
Right.
I was like, all right, at the time in the MCU, that probably would have been too much for general audiences. But now at this point, you've had Guardians, you've had Spider-Man come out, with Lizard, Doc Ock, Goblin, all that, Love and Thunder with its just wackiness and shit. Like, I think we could get MODOK. No,
yeah, we can definitely get Big Head MODOK, but I mean,
Embrace
seeing
the
how
comics.
seeing how the Miss Marvel handled his power chains because they didn't want like fucking sweaty hands. I don't know.
I'm like, all right, so we're changing Reed Richards, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Like,
They got changed to Reed Richards too.
Can't do stretchy
They
hands.
can't do sweaty hands because Reed Richards. It's okay. He got spaghettified.
Don't remind me of that scene.
No, he wasn't.
Talk about it.
He wasn't sweating himself. He was being sweats out. But no, Quantumania sounds like a good movie, and Miss Marvel's I'm all for because I loved Iman Vellani and Miss Marvel. She was great.
Yeah,
I don't really care for anyone else, but I want to see like Kamala more because he was such a great character.
The saddest part of the saddest part of D23 was seeing the interview with Brie Larson, where they asked, do you think you'll be coming back for more?
That.
And she's just like, I don't know, like if they want me to. And I feel really bad for that. Because,
that's so funny. It's so sad.
Like, it's not her fault at all. Whatever she said outside in like interviews for projects completely unrelated or speeches at like award shows, you can dislike the actress, but she's not inciting violence. She's not calling people. She's not like insulting anyone. She's just speaking out, and yeah, the delivery not as good as it could have been, and she definitely pissed some people off. But that's no reason to just harass an actress
Definitely
like that.
Not.
Like, especially over her performance, which I don't blame her for her performance. I blame the writing more because Carol Danvers is just such a plank of wood in the MCU.
Exactly. Like, even if you take away like her acting, when you look at the actual writing, it's like nothing.
Yeah, so like, I feel bad for her doing that, and then all of the vultures going around like, she recognizes that no one wants her. I'm like, no, you don't want her. Everyone else is pretty indifferent on the whole thing because normal people don't really care about that, like about the actors or think about it. They just kind of sit there and go, "Oh, this actor's in it. Cool, I'm gonna watch it." Right,
and that's speaking of harassment towards actresses. There was a couple. There was some live action stuff that went out on Disney for in D23, and I think you know what I'm talking about.
I do because I got called racist for something.
So I think you better explain this than I do since you had first-hand experience.
Because this was alright. This was the most frustrating thing. There was a post I commented on about here. Let me pull up the original post in general, but like what happened was the trailer for The Little Mermaid live action came out, and for like I will say like until about like 6 months ago, I had no idea that the actress playing Ariel, Halle, I forget her last name. I had no idea Halle was black, and so when I had come up and I'd seen, I saw it, I was like, oh, okay. She has, like, she looks like Ariel, alright. And then she's got the tail, she's got the hair. And then I watched the trailer, and I was like, this is a really just meh trailer in general, because, like, the water, the lighting, I just wasn't feeling it. And
even if you compare it to, an underwater movie like Aquaman, like, the difference between, like, is night and day.
Aquaman is so bright. And I'm like, why can't we have that? And so the original post I commented on was someone quote tweeting a screenshot that was like, "Oh yeah, there's a million dislikes on the Little Mermaid teaser trailer," which like that seems a little excessive, guys, for
Obviously.
the Little Mermaid. I get that we don't like the live action Disney remakes because they haven't been that great, but this seems a little excessive. And the comment on it was the comment in that quote tweet was, "This is racially motivated. I don't care. Out of all the fucking Disney remakes, this is the one y'all finally decided to take a stand on. Please." And I was like, and my comment was, I saw a site, like, nothing about the person, nothing about Halle as an actress. I saw a side-by-side comparison of the animated trailer and this trailer, and Jesus, the animated version is just so full of heart and creativity, and this just isn't. It's the most evidence in the shots of the water, and then in the shots of Ariel. It's like she's not even sitting out. She's not even reaching out to the surface world in the new one. She's just sitting there looking at the hole. Like, do something. Please show me that you want to be part of their world. And that was my only comments. Was just, I wish she was doing something more
Right.
in the scene. And that's not even Halle's fault for that, because that comes to the direction.
Exactly.
That comes to the direction and the editing of the trailer. So like nothing to do with them. All I commented on was just that, hey, this doesn't look as lively and as creative as the original animation. And then out of nowhere, it was just, no, you're not even, like, your critiques are just masking your racism. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, that's a weird thing with these types of movies, is that when you like gender swap or race swap a main character, any type of criticism that you actually have for the movie is most likely gonna be blown out of the water and assumed for racism.
It also gets even worse when, like, I get that this is the tactic, and I think it's a scummy tactic, because it basically, the people behind it, or the company, puts out the statement of, we stand against racism and bigotry and all of that, and that's a great thing to say. The problem is that when you put it out there for this, it then puts the criticisms of anytime someone actually critiques the product for what it is, it just gets lumped into the, oh, well, this is racism, because if the only reason someone would critique or criticize this is if they're racist. That's like, well, no,
it's not
style,
even a fault.
Like the water.
Yeah, it's not even a fault from like the actual company. It's just like the fault of social media, just like taking things out of proportion. Because that was even that was even a problem with Kenobi, where they were receiving so many different racial harassment against Moses Ingram, but people actually kept saying, no, this is all because her writing is bad and acting is bad, even though she publicly posted on her Instagram all the racist comments she was getting.
Yeah, and like there's those idiots that do that, and if you are one of them, I'm sorry, just fuck you. Like, don't attack the actor. Don't attack the actors.
Don't attack the actors for their performances.
Yeah, like they're just doing their job.
Exactly.
Like, it's really dumb to do that. It was a big thing back in the game, back when Last of Us 2 came out too, where people sent Laura Bailey death threats because she voiced Abby, and it's like, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah,
like,
people are just dumb.
Yeah, it's like, don't harass the actors or actresses. They did their job. I'm sorry if it wasn't that. Like, if you have an actual critique on the acting, sure. I would love to hear what that critique actually is, and I would like you to say it to me so that there's no misunderstandings, and we can get to the bottom of it. Because on social media, too, you put out one thing like that, and it's going to be a scenario like what happened with me, where I put out my thoughts, and it's like, oh, well, obviously this is it. And it's like, no, I can't say all of my thoughts on Twitter. Maybe I should just stop with Twitter.
Character limit.
Maybe I should just stop with Twitter.
I mean, people take like that shit out of proportion, but then there's someone who made an AI that whitewashed Ariel in the trailer.
Dude, that was
That
disgusting.
was fucking horrendous. Oh my
Someone
god.
did that for Michelle in Spider-Man and like Spider-Man No
Yeah,
Way Home.
I heard about that.
Zendaya. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, no.
A real person has to do this. Like, this is like a robot that did this. No, a real person has to program the AI to do that.
Like, I'm sorry. Even if you say, well, I'm not like this wasn't for racist thing. I just wanted to see a redhead I just want to see a white redhead there. I'm like, that's my guy.
That's like the
you still
definition of
went
racist.
through. Like, your actions are speaking for you. Like,
Exactly. No, but like going back, like kind of take away from the racism because that was like a main focus from the Little Mermaid.
oh yeah, the discourse. Yeah.
But there was a lot of like I think that Disney just kind of has the wrong idea with live actions and what they should be making into live action remakes because it was the weirdest thing hearing about it, but seeing Mufasa, a live action prequel, was the weirdest fucking thing I've ever seen from Disney.
Dude, I was already on top of it. Like, I've had this argument with my family so much. I'm pretty sure my brother just does it to piss me off. When the live action, in quotes, Lion King came out originally, and they were like, I was sitting there looking at the trailer. I was like, well, it's not live action. These aren't real lions. This is CGI. So, like, don't lie to me. And my brother was like, no, it's live action. Can't you see? I'm like, no, fuck you. It's not. It's live action. It's CGI.
Yeah, it's live CGI.
Like, it's realistic. It's like that's what they're going for.
Realistic at its own expense. Realistic at the expense of actual emotions from the computer generated animals.
Oh, dude, that still image of fucking Simba.
Just
the stampede is coming. Simba, I'm not even bothered. Like, I don't care.
Like,
what stampede?
Exactly. No, but Mufasa. That has to seeing Mufasa being a live action prequel has got to be some of the weirdest and craziest things I've ever seen from Disney. And I've seen a lot of things from Disney. That kind of takes the cake for that one.
I mean, yeah, like it's just weird. The only live action, like the only movies from Disney that I've been like, I would love to see this in live action because I think it would be cool is Atlantis, the Lost City, and Treasure Planet.
Yeah, so okay, Atlantis is being made into a live action. Didn't they release it, or was it Treasure Planet? I can't remember.
Andrew Garfield is going to be Milo Thatcher, which I think is spot on casting actually for that character. I really hope that they nail everything about it because that movie is one of the examples I point to of like this is a really strong cast of characters that you don't notice like how you don't notice how diverse the cast of characters actually is, like just physically, because they are amazingly characterized in that movie. It's insane. Like it's insane how lovable that cast of characters is. And I am so happy to see it. And I hope they don't like I hope they just keep it how it is and keep that characterization because there's nothing that needs to be added to that. Like there's nothing that needs to be changed for it. I want to see it be done justice.
That's the weird thing with like trying to remake live actions because you can either make a 1-to-1 remake or change a lot of fundamental things about the movie entirely. And I don't think you're gonna get a good result. Okay, you're not gonna get a good result most of the time. There's very like small instances where like either changing something or keeping everything the same works. But I think it's
like I think the one of the live action Disney movies that actually I think tackled this in the right or at least in a better way was the Tarzan one, where it's not a 1-to-1 adaptation or like live action remake. It was a sequel kind of deal where it's, you know, it was a bit of a different backstory for Tarzan, but it was set after the original movie. So like the original movie could basically be like a retelling of their story within that live action universe, which is cool. Like, I think that's cool. It's taking the story of what happened in the live action and changing it around to be a kids movie. I'm like, that's cool. And I think that's the right way to do it. Or at least the better way to do it.
Yeah. But I think like the best one that I've seen actually that fundamentally changed like the original story for the better was Aladdin. Because I really fucking loved Aladdin.
I don't know if I would say for the better, but I think it stuck the landing. Because I also really like Aladdin. Aladdin is the only one out of the live action remakes that I think has that style.
Exactly.
That like it's actually colorful, it's lively. I feel it the most. Like, I mean, my family loves the Beauty and the Beast live action, and I'm just sitting over here like I can't get over Emma Watson's auto-tune.
Yeah.
Like, it's so bad. It's so present, and I'm just like, this is no. But like Aladdin, I actually really enjoy it because it's colorful, it's lively. You know, they're doing something different that I think works a lot better in certain areas. But I still think the original Aladdin is better, partially because it's just really hard to top Robin Williams' Genie.
Obviously,
like,
but I think I'm gonna say like something that I kind of don't want to say, but I feel like
is this a Civil War in the group chat moment?
Oh, it's 100% going to be, but I think that while I think that besides Will Smith I think that he has his own spin on it as he should be, but I think that overall writing wise, I think I actually feel more from Genie and Aladdin's relationship than I did the animated. It actually felt like more connected with each other because it really did focus more on Genie and his past masters and seeing how Aladdin could potentially change into that, but Aladdin being the kind-hearted soul that he is, never did until he actually for once actually gained that power, which of course the power is going to go to his head. He is treated as a fucking nobody his entire life. And
yeah.
I think that focusing more on Genie's history with his other masters and focusing more on the power that Aladdin gains makes the argument scene a lot stronger for me.
I can see that, and I think that's fine, because one of the things that they went for, too, was it was in the original, was it was less about their relationship and more about Aladdin just, like, wanting that place in his life. Like, and I think that works fine for the animated one, because it definitely, like, there were... That movie, I'm gonna say something else. I think that movie is hardcore carried by Robin Williams.
Yeah, it kind of is.
The animation is great. Like, the animation is great, and the music, the songs, they're all really good. But I think in terms of character, Genie just takes the cake because Robin Williams is so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Disney live action remakes need to chill a little bit.
If they're gonna make a live action remake out of anything, I feel like I need to say this. It needs to be fucking Brother Bear. Holy shit, I love Brother Bear so fucking much. It's stupid. It's very stupid and it's very cringy.
So I think I'm gonna counter a little bit. We may end up with a bit of a Lion King situation there.
Yeah, because of the bears.
The bears, yeah.
Okay, but I think
I'm a little worried.
Look, I don't think they need to focus much on the bear's facial expression much, because a bear's face is normally like very small in comparison to a lion's. But I think that what they really need to focus on is the casting. The casting needs to be on fucking point with
True.
Not just for the humans, but also when they're actually bears. Because I think what made the original work so well with Kenai's character is Joaquin Phoenix's performance, because even though like I can still see the facial expression for sure, but I was more focused on like the actual voice acting of Joaquin Phoenix and
Oh
just
yeah,
how
it's
well
really
he
good.
portrayed the assholeness of Kenai and how he learns to like feel fucking bad about what he did and mistakes he made. And dude, they need if I mainly say that they need to make a Brother Bear live action because the human stuff was so fucking good. They need to extend that
Yeah.
like longer. But also, I think the one change that they could do to make it even better than the animated is make absolute silence for when Kenai tells Koda the truth about what he did. I think if they just have a long drawn out moment where he's slowly like revealing the truth and he starts to swell up his emotions and he starts to get angry and sad about what he did would be so fucking great. It would be such a tense moment
Yeah,
that needs
yeah,
no music. Because Phil
that would be
Collins,
nuts.
because other than like the unfunny bullshit, Phil Collins kind of hurt the movie. Even though Phil Collins is an amazing like music composer, I think that he works in some Disney movies and doesn't in others. And he did not work at
Fair.
all in he didn't work at all in Brother Bear.
I will be honest, I'm a little glad that he wasn't featured in Treasure Planet and
Oh,
we got the other banger that we did in that movie. I love that movie so much. But yeah, like Brother Bear, I would love to see it more cuz it's like it's like the only other Native American thing than other than Pocahontas, and I kind of don't want to see Pocahontas get a live action because I'm like that could go real bad real quick.
oh, it 100%
Uh,
can because I think Pocahontas was carried by the animation of anything.
oh, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, but Brother
Like
Bear could definitely work if they focus more on the spiritual aspects of their culture because I think that's what really stood out for me the most. I didn't really give a shit about the moose or I I, I think that the family
Wait, you didn't
aspect.
love when they played I Spy?
I Spy, Spy. Yeah, no, that was stupid. But I think I like the family aspect of the bears because it relates to Kenai seeing just how compassionate the bears are and how it actually relates to his totem. So I do want to see more of that, but I think just toning down the comedy more and saving most of the comedy for when they actually get to the salmon run would work a lot more. And when he's alone with Coda, it'd be really nice to see just them bonding more naturally. Like they don't bond more because Coda's a fucking little shit, but
Yeah.
anyways, that's my take on Brother Bear. It needs to be live action, but moving on, I think that's pretty much about everything that happened in D23, if I remember
Oh,
correctly.
oh, oh no. There was one more thing that I am so excited about.
Oh really?
Oh yeah. And it was the Percy Jackson
Oh,
teaser
that's
trailer.
right. Fucking Percy Jackson.
Woo-hoo,
I
I'm
know I know
so
you I know
excited.
you being Greek actually really got you who giddy for the trailer.
Oh, dude, I sat down and I watched it and I heard Percy speak and I was like, "Oh, dude, that's the opening of the book right there. That is the opening." Oh, I'm so excited. The tone that it's going for, I like, and just Walker in there. The way he was talking about it, I'm like, yeah, that's Percy. And seeing the orange shirts and like the cabins and the teaser, I'm calling it right now. I think we get. I think in about at least 5 years, within the next 5 years, there will be a Camp Half Blood section in Disneyland.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I think that
And
Percy
I hope to
Jackson.
God it's true because I will be there,
Yeah.
and I would probably get arrested because I'm an adult in the middle of a children's park. So I'm
Wait,
just saying it's gonna look weird.
police, this man isn't with a child. Why is he at a fucking children attraction?
I just want to get one of the shirts. That's all I want. I just want a shirt.
No, but I really think Percy Jackson does receive more recognition.
Oh, I like. I'm gonna say it again. It is I think it's the first time. Percy Jackson is what Harry Potter pretends to be, because Percy Jackson is better than Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter. I loved it as a kid. I ignore J.K. Rowling, except the one tweet she made about how wizards go to the bathroom, or how wizards went to the bathroom before they got plumbing at Hogwarts, because that's just fucking hilarious. I think Percy is just way better in terms of overall story, characters, representation especially. Rick does representation so well, because A, he's already way better than JK, because he's not going back to Twitter and going, hey, no, don't you remember Dumbledore was gay the whole time? And I'm like, oh, wait, what? Because like that kind of stuff, I hate it when creators go to Twitter to confirm like things like that on Twitter rather than in their story, because they didn't do it in their story, which means it probably wasn't there to begin with. And when they say it, it's like her going and saying, oh yeah, Dumbledore was gay all along. It's like, I can go back, I can read the books, and there's some moments where I can go, I mean, I can kind of see it, but for the most part, I'm just sitting there going, it's not really supported in the actual writing, so it feels like she's just trying to slap a Band-Aid on it for points. And so if you're going to do that, just do it in the story, which Rick does so well, where like one of the characters I wasn't a big fan of in the original series, night and day in the sequel series to Percy Jackson, he gets focus in like the 4th book, and it's really good focus, and then they reveal that he's gay, and I was like, oh shit, that actually, wait a minute, and like going back, I read the book, and I'm like, that makes so much sense now. Like, he was putting the seeds there. It makes so much sense. And it's how to do it. He does it so well, because I can go back, I can see all of these moments, and I liked Nico even before he revealed that fact. He did so much good work to make me like Nico again, like as a character, before he revealed he was gay, and I was like, this is amazing now. This is so, let's just add so much to his character, because I like him with all of these facets of his character. And he's not just this is the gay character in the show, and that's all he is. He's an actual character, and it makes the representation so much better. Because like, Percy Jackson could have just been a straight up like, oh, this is the Greek backdrop. Yeah, these are the Greek gods. But he went the extra mile in making, first off, the mythology and the culture of the Greek mythology and everything, and the gods. He went the extra mile. So like, for me as a Greek, seeing all of this stuff and all of this care being put into it, it makes that representation more special for me, because I'm like, yeah, this is how it goes. I can see it's not just throwing it out there to get brownie points with me. Like, he did the extra mile in the research. And
yeah,
I've heard
a lot of good things about how it's like a great the movies are great adaptations to the books. I need to go back and actually rewatch those, because they're
on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I haven't seen both those in a minute. I remember liking the first one a lot more than the second one.
Yeah, you're correct. You are correct.
Yeah, I remember the second one being like a little more silly.
I don't know about silly. It just broke so much. Like, the first one was alright, this isn't a great adaptation, but they at least tried to get the spirit of it. Like, they aged up the characters, which I'm fine with aging up the characters for this, because working with child actors can be really tough, and I don't want it to, and it can be really tough on both the production and the child in general, so I'm like, I don't want any children to, suffer for this.
Right.
So I was fine with that part, and it was an okay adaptation. And then the second one comes along and just like shoots the book in the back of the head, spits on it, like gets some gasoline, lights it on fire, and like, it was just bad.
No, but I actually need to rewatch those, because I think I I would like to see the next movie. But I think that's pretty much wraps up everything for D23. And now we
Yeah, now it
thought
does.
that was gonna be it for the week, but Nintendo Direct happened at the same day of PlayStation State of Play, and
Oh,
honestly,
dude.
there's honestly not a whole lot to say about the Direct because there was like just like one or two things that came out of it, and that was it.
Breath of the Wild and Bayonetta 3
Oh my
were
god,
like,
yes.
but sorry, not Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom.
Or is it Tears? Okay,
It
I
is
read
Tears
it
of
as
the Kingdom.
Tears, but alright.
No, it's definitely
English is
Tears.
English is a nightmare.
No, but
But-
I like other than like those, it was just like a bunch of farming games.
This is a Japanese MMORPG, and you can also farm. Here's another MMORPG, and
But
you can also farm.
Yeah, there was a lot of farm. There was like a lot of weird farming games that I'm like, huh.
Yeah. Oh, can you farm in Fire Emblem in the new Fire Emblem that's coming out? Is that?
Knowing Nintendo, you probably can.
Oh man.
Yeah, but Tears of the
Like,
Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom looks so fucking amazing, and I remember seeing a Twitch streamer talk about it and how it references a lot back to Ocarina of Time.
I was kind of hoping for more of like Majora's Mask, but like,
Yeah, no,
Ocarina. Going back to Ocarina, hell yeah.
I've heard that like, well, like there's like 7 of the orbs which relates back to Ocarina, I think. But I remember like hearing him talk about like the main like person in the like stat like glyph or something, like the ancient tablet about and how that relates back to Majora's Mask. I don't exactly remember what he said about it, but it sounded very interesting.
Dude, Zelda lore theories and all those YouTubers.
You can go down a whole
like,
fucking iceberg of Zelda.
Dude, they are doing the Lord's work. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like, that's
like
reminds
40
me of like
years
a
of
meme.
Zelda.
Dude, it reminds me of a meme I saw where it was about the God of War community, but it applies to the Zelda community. It's pretty much like this. It's a nurse getting ready to put defibrillators on a dude and bring him back to life, and it's just the Zelda YouTube lore community to the Zelda community. It's just they are bringing life back into that game.
Yeah, there's like a lot of lore with Zelda, and honestly, trying to figure out all of it gets a little confusing for me because I don't remember a lot of the Zelda games that I played. I played a lot of Zelda games.
It's because of the whole timeline thing.
Yeah.
Where we're in like 3 separate timelines, but that's a whole other rabbit hole we're not going to get into on this because that could take like an hour.
Exactly. But no, Tears of the Kingdom looks like an amazing game. I love the Sky Islands designs of
it's kind of Aztec or Mayan.
Yeah, and I also like how there's like malice throughout the whole kingdom. Like you can not only it feels like there's such a substantial change in the shift of just the world itself because there was you can not only see the malice coming from Hyrule Kingdom, but you also saw like Death Mountain erupting. So that's how you know something's fucked up.
I don't think we saw any of the divine beasts as well, which is interesting. So theories, time travel again,
Exactly.
Zelda. Huh?
No, but it does look like it does look really insane to see what they could go with it. It looks like a direct sequel to Breath of the Wild, which I'm all for.
I will say though, if I'm not allowed to hang out with cute pixie cut Zelda, I'm gonna be sad.
Right.
No. Dude, new waifu.
I'm excited to see the gameplay too because the only thing we really got for gameplay was the the fucking bird thing that lets you soar across the skies, which looked amazing.
Yeah, so there's that, then there's the go up and to go down.
Yeah, it looks like a reverse stasis ability, which could be interesting. Yeah, it's pulling things it's like pulling things instead of like pushing things.
I think the justification for that is you're manipulating some time or whatever. So like it's something that fell to the ground and now you're reversing the time so you can go back up or whatever.
Yeah, that's interesting to see. I think it also ties into what we got for the first gameplay trailer where like we saw like Link's arm and how that connected with the stasis abilities.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool. Dude, all the theories for that have been going wild too. Like, what is the arm?
Yeah, there's so many theories on Tears of the Kingdom, but there could be more for when we actually get more gameplay, which should be soon. But I think
Okay, well, I mean, dude, it's like February 2023.
yeah, it's like February 13th, I believe. Or, no, March. I think
Is it March? Okay, dude, this year, like, dude, 2023 kind of stacked one line. Like, I mean, the end of this year, we get God of War,
Oh my
Ragnarok,
God.
which we'll get into that in a sec.
Yeah.
Like, God of War, Ragnarok, and then we're going into 2023 with Spider-Man, Tears of the Kingdom. Logan is going to be or Wolverine's going to be following after in 24. Then Jedi Survivor. Like this is
Yeah, gamers are gonna be eating good.
Black Panther game too.
I also don't like how you didn't mention Pokemon. As a Pokemon stan, I take that very harshly.
I'm sorry.
I feel insulted.
Look, this is gonna be a Civil War thing right here. Pokemon sucks.
Look, it's fine. They're doing their best, but going back to the Direct, I think the only thing that was really mentioned as like noteworthy was not only Bayonetta but also Pikmin 4, which I don't really have a whole lot of connection to it.
I forget people like Pikmin. Like I'd never heard of Pikmin before I played Smash and I saw Olimar and Brawl and I was like, who the hell is this guy?
I think that was not only a huge reveal, not because of the actual reveal itself, but because they fucking had Miyamoto come up, say, the Mario movie exists, leave, and then Pikmin 4.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. He was just like, I saw so many people to have like, no Mario movie, bad direct. I'm like, alright, sure, bro. Like
they brought fucking Miyamoto out just to say Mario movie exists. Bye.
That's king shit right there. I mean, that's classic Nintendo though, because like they know how to make games. They don't understand how to market anything.
No.
Like,
that also reminds me about what they showed before the actual trailer for Pikmin 4. Going back to like the Pokemon Go shit, they had the fucking Pikmin Go game that came out like a year ago.
That came out?
That was alpha. Apparently, that was out for a while. That like I've heard that Pikmin Pokemon Go game thing was out for like a year.
Huh.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I was like, what the fuck? Why is this here?
I had absolutely zero idea.
I don't know. I don't think anyone really knew. No, this was a very like okay direct. I got my Breath of the Wild injected in my bloodstream. I'm okay with that.
Oh, dude. So you don't understand for me, like, because this happened before. This happened before we got together. Back, I think it was a year after the initial release. Where the direct where they popped up and were like, "Hey, they announced Skyward." It was the direct they announced Skyward Sword remaster.
Yeah,
I was sitting there, into the direct. I was like, "All right, cool. It's been a year since that we got that first reveal. We're gonna get something for it. Like it's been come on, it's been a year. They have to have something. So like, let's go. Come on." They pop up and they're like, "Hey, we know you've been excitedly waiting for Breath of the Wild 2. Unfortunately, we don't have anything to show." And I just sit there and I'm just like, well,
Nintendo does not know how to market
myself.
Like, Nintendo's really bad at marketing the games. Granted, PlayStation isn't that great either, which actually brings me into state of play, which obviously isn't going to be much because it's only like 20 minutes long, but a lot of anime games, obviously. The main takeaway is
Tekken
obviously
8?
Tekken 8.
Tekken 8, I'm excited about because I really like Tekken. My dad and I play it on it. We have a Tekken Tag tournament on the PS2, and we have like these old school arcade controllers. So we'll play Tekken on our PS2 like every couple months.
Yeah, Tekken 8 looks so
like,
amazing. The animation looks
it
fucking
does.
gorgeous.
Like, I'm excited. I can't wait to see my boy Eddie Gordo. Like, I need my dancing master fighter.
And dude,
It's so much fun.
Holy shit, the fucking trailer for Ragnarok. Oh my god.
Ooh, man. I'm getting hot thinking about it. Is that good?
Oh, dude. Not only is the gameplay looks so much more refined, the story looks so good.
Dude,
I finished God of War like early this year, so like the memories are still fresh for me. Oh, the story looks so great.
I played it on New Game Plus I think about a year ago too, so it's fresh for me. I remember seeing like the initial reveal trailer for it, and I was like, well, I gotta go back and play this now. And so the one line in this trailer that like beautiful, I could not it goes so hard, was just Kratos saying, when it has earned me, death can claim me. And I'm just like,
yeah. Yeah, Kratos is such a good fucking character. I love his performance. He needs to be, his voice actor needs to play in more.
Christopher Judge.
Yeah.
He's been in things, and he's fantastic. Go watch Stargate if you guys want to see him. But the other thing that got me, like, I'm so down for this is I'm loving the new direction, or just the direction of Kratos' character, just the trust that he has in Atreus right now.
Dude, like,
he's so good.
He feels so much more open and more vulnerable that it's actually really interesting to see what they're gonna do with that.
Yeah, like
you can...
Atreus going like, I can't tell you, you just have to trust me. Like, I know you don't believe in this. And when he said that, I know I don't believe it, but I still follow. I'm just like, oh,
yeah, like
he's trusting Atreus
in that
so hard.
In that one trailer, you can feel how like his emotions and how he feels so trustworthy towards Atreus, as opposed to the last game where he almost did not. He like was so distant, and now he's like basically opening his heart for him. It's so fucking good.
Let's just put this out there for 1 second, though. Like, the beginning of that trailer, Atreus opens the door and there's a bald dude covered in shadow. That's Odin, right?
That 100% has to be Odin.
That's gotta be Odin.
I can definitely say that's Odin.
And so I'm wondering when the Thor boss fight is gonna take place, because
that has to be Thor. I think that's gotta be a final boss.
That trailer.
Yeah, but even the gameplay looks so much better than even the original, because the original gameplay for the 2018 God of War is amazing, but here it even looks better because you have not only refined and improved shield attacks, you also have combos with Atreus, which works not only for gameplay but also storytelling. Like I love it when games improve the gameplay and it complements the actual story.
Yup. It works so well. Like the ludonarrative harmony, we love it.
Exactly.
We love it. Yeah. And that's like the blades getting upgraded. So one thing that they're probably not going to explain, which I'm okay with, in the sense of they don't have to, because all of the upgrades for the axe and the blades are technically, they are optional. Like, they're not mandatory to the story, and whatever upgrades we got in the story for the weapons are likely going to stick through. Like, with the Blades of Chaos, the only upgrade that the Blades of Chaos get canonically in the story is being able to channel the winds of hell. So, like, right. If they can't do that in the next game, then yeah, that's like the only thing I'll be like, oh, that's a bad thing. But right. Like, in terms of resetting our progress for like skills, if they reset our progress for like, oh well, we can't do this move that we could at the end of the game, that's gonna bother me a little bit. But like the aesthetic things where we could upgrade the axes and the blades to have different looks, that's not gonna bother me because that's an optional thing that's not canon to the story. So
I think it would be interesting to keep all of our upgrades that we had in the past game, but the enemies are like much beefier and your weapons are obviously weaker. So like you still have the same.
Yeah, so
you're still like having those same skills that you had in the last game, but it's not really that much of a power difference. It's more like you're still progressing from like game to game, and I think that would be
I'm okay with them. I'm okay with them resetting our gear and whatnot. Like that's fine. Like, because that's also optional, and you're supposed to have your build, and that would just like carrying over our gear and stuff from the previous game. Wow, that would be really cool if they did. I wouldn't mind them not doing because it's not our gear, like our armor and weapon gear. That's not canon to the story.
Yeah.
So,
but I'm just November's gonna be a crazy month for gaming because I know you don't like
November. Can't come sooner.
Exactly. I know you still hate Pokemon, but we still got Pokemon, and we got God of War, but we also got Sonic Frontiers. With holy shit, I love Sonic Frontiers now.
Oh yeah, that got like a new gameplay trailer, didn't it?
Yeah, it got a new gameplay trailer like earlier today, and it looks so amazing. I love the Supersonic model too.
That's cool. Like I haven't played many Sonic games. The only Sonic game I've played is that Snowboarder.
I am a Sonic shill. I will commit several felonies for a good Sonic game because I want the franchise to succeed. It actually
aren't all Sonic games bad though?
Look, we don't talk about everything after the hero, everything after Sonic Heroes. Like it gets a little weird there, but there are a couple
you're telling
gems.
me you're not a fan of Sonic 06, the greatest Sonic game ever made?
Yeah. There's a couple of dips. There's a couple of dips and a couple of pits in the bottomless pits of hell. But then there's some gems. There are some gems here and there. Like I actually like the gameplay of Sonic Lost World, even though it's a fucking Mario ripoff. The actual gameplay itself is great, and Sonic Unleashed is like Sonic Unleashed is my favorite Sonic game of all time. 100%. It's always going to be.
I feel like that's a controversial take.
It 100% is a hot take. Holy shit. It's 100% a fucking terrible take, but I still stand by it.
I'm not familiar enough with the Sonic community to know what's a hot take.
But I'm
familiar with the Pokemon community.
Oh, obviously,
my brother's part of it.
Yeah, but Sonic Frontiers looks like a great game. Honestly, I wish they would have marketed the game better and not shown all the crappy footage first, and like have that be half of its marketing. But
that's a weird choice.
November's going to be an amazing month. Hell, the rest of this year and next year is going to be an amazing year for gaming. And I think that's going to wrap up everything that we have for today's podcast. You have any final thoughts, Zio?
Final thoughts. Percy Jackson's going to inject more Spider-Man freshman year stuff into my bloodstream. I need it. I need to see that animation. Sony, please give me Spider-Man 2 stuff at some point, please. My lifeblood is off of Spider-Man and the comics are sucking right now. Like, I need something. But yeah, I'm like everything else, I'm excited to see what's happening.
Yeah, and that's gonna wrap everything up. Be sure to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know if our future content releases. I'm your favorite Cowboy, signing off.